Michael Carnevale is branch manager and financial advisor. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, 400 Southbridge Street in Auburn, Massachusetts, 1-800-657-9126. A member of FINRA SIPC and are not deposits, not insured by FDIC or any governmental agency, not guaranteed by Webster 5 Cent Savings Bank, and subject to risk, may lose value. Webster 5 Cent Savings Bank is not affiliated with Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated. The information contained in this report does not purport to be a complete description of the securities markets or developments referred to in the material. The information has been obtained from sources considered to be reliable, but we do not guarantee that the foregoing material is accurate or complete. Any information is not a complete summary or statement of all available data necessary for making an investment decision and does not constitute a recommendation. Any opinions are those of Michael Carnevale and not necessarily those of RJFS or Raymond James. Expressions of opinion are as of this date and are subject to change without notice.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Richard Morco, and with me is, again, Michael Carnevale. This is the Long Report, Conversations with. We will be discussing where the economy is going, and we will hope you will listen to us with forbearance, and if you are not overly offended by the end of the show,
we haven't done our job.
Please like and subscribe in spite of that.
Okay.
We let you out a little early today, I can see. Mike is right now going to do a victory dance.
Well, yeah, the market as we are doing this show is at another all-time high.
Now, which index is it?
Dow.
The Dow.
Dow is at another all-time high.
And what stocks are the highest on that? Is it the big seven or?
Well, on the Dow, of course, it's the 30 industrials.
Yeah.
But, you know, that index is becoming more and more tech as some of the older names drop off. They get replaced by the newer names. So you're right. It's used to be an industrial index, and now it's a combination, sort of a tech industrial index. Because the Microsofts have been added and the likes.
Are any of the automotives still, our American automotives, what we used to be so proud of?
I don't think any of them are, no.
Well, I won't comment on what that means.
It means the Dow was able to get to another all-time high.
There you go.
It's been really the technology.
And of course, inflation had nothing to do with this.
Well, about half of it is inflation, right?
Okay, usually I come up with a few things to annoy Michael with at the beginning of the show.
Go ahead.
Powell blames the tariffs for inflation. This is the guy in charge of the Fed, and do you think that's a little self-serving there? Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, when he talked at the latest press conference after the latest rate cut, he kind of said inflation and tariffs were the problem. But I think that might have been a sort of dig at the president who...
Well, they're no love lost.
Right.
He also, I think, alluded to job growth was negative.
Right.
So, I mean, he's basically, he's not merely taking a pot shot.
Right.
He's got the howitzer out.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's true. I mean, although the last employment report that we'll see in a minute, which dates back to September, is so old, but because of the government shutdown, a lot of this has been not reported and will not be reported. But yeah, I mean, definitely the job creation has really dropped off.
Yeah. And of course, as you mentioned, the quarter point, the rate was, federal rate is down a quarter point.
Right.
But there were 3 dissenters.
Right.
So what's going on?
So this is the most, well, one of them is the newly appointed one, who's always going to, not go with the majority. But yeah, there's a real, and Powell mentioned this too at the press conference, there's a real split now. Those who want to see rates cut even more, and others who say we've cut enough for the time being. So, and we haven't really seen this. Usually you get no dissension. Sometimes you get one, occasionally you get two, but I don't think you ever get three.
Well, for credibility, it helps if everybody's on the team.
Right.
That doesn't mean it's really credible,
Right.
but in the greater world, everybody says, doing well.
Yep. Yep. And come January 1st, there'll be a rotation of voters on the committee. 4 leave, and then 4 more come on. And the 4 that are coming on are more likely not to vote for rate cuts than the 4 that are leaving.
Give us the way the reasoning for that.
It's based on what they've said in the past.
The new people?
Yeah, the
We don't have them yet, do we?
yeah. Well, they have the fixed members who always get a vote, and then they rotate amongst the 12 regional Fed presidents, 4 at a time. So the 4 that are leaving and no longer going to vote next year were more inclined to cut rates than the 4 that are coming on. For instance, Boston, which is got a vote this year, is leaving at the end of this year. They won't be able to vote again for 3 more years. But, so it'll be interesting because we know the president wants rates cut and cut big. Yet the way the cycle is working, the people that are coming on are less inclined to do that. So it'll be interesting to see. And he's already said that he's got a litmus test for the Fed chairman. It's got to be someone who wants to cut rates. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
But, nobody can figure out Trump, really, deep down. What's in there? You would think, on the day after he was inaugurated, or the day was immediately when he was inaugurated, he was a lame duck. He would have every reason in the world to say, I can be as honest as I can and think about my legacy. But it's almost like he's every day running for president and changing everything around. Now, it's a good idea to, if you have confidence and respect for your vice president and think he might be the candidate when, after you go, it's probably as generous and wise thing to do is to make it good for him too. But the guy can't be figured out. I mean, he says, there's a great manufacturing boom on the way. Yeah, I'd love to see it. Where is it? I understand firing the independent agencies because, they're just thrown out, and they spend money and, I mean, what do you call it? SAT scores have gone down since we've had the, the Department of Education. Right. I mean, so these are sinecure beds, sinecure farms. Mm-hmm. So I understand that. And he does some things that you say, wow, that isn't bad. Mm-hmm. And then, let's have a war with, we didn't do too well in Iran. We didn't win the 12-day war, but let's have a war with, Venezuela. Right. Now, drugs. I understand. I don't like people selling drugs in my country. Arrest them. Mm-hmm. But nobody who's taken a drug that I know of, that they put a gun to their head and say, stick this in your arm or put this up your nose. Yep. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I can't figure the guy out. Sometimes he'll do something good. Yeah. Sometimes.
I think he seems to have a short attention span. We were going after Greenland, then we were going to the 51st state, and now it's vacillating from. Now he's going after people in Minnesota, and he's got.
Minnesota. I mean, that crowd is been stealing money for a long time.
Right, but he's.
And that's an easy mark.
Yeah, but he's going from story to story to story with no real, and then he has a political rally where, you know, prices are coming down, they're not, right? Manufacturing it's not. Now we're gonna, you know, we didn't give you the rebate, the $6,000 back at the beginning, but now we're going to do a $2,000 child. But no one's holding them accountable, really.
Well, he comes out with the national, what do you call it, foreign policy or or defense policy, whatever. And I saw it, and seeing as I'm old, I don't even remember the exact title. I looked at the synopsis of it, and it's not where I would go. I mean, I think we should bring everybody home, but it's calling for more moderation. And once I had pushed my pacemaker to working again, that's not a bad idea.
Right.
Trying to get out of the war with Russia ain't a bad idea.
Right.
Talking about a moderation with China ain't a bad idea. But will it be the idea he has tomorrow?
Right. And I think, you know, because back in November there was concern about what would happen in 2025, you know, with the market and whatnot. And I think as time goes on, more and more people are discounting what he says. It's sort of like in one ear, out the other, don't worry about it.
Today is not tomorrow. All right, let's get to November.
Well,
historically the best month.
Yes, it's historically the best month of the year for stocks. Just barely for 2025. It took the final few days to get the Dow positive for the month, but it was up 153 points, about 0.5%.
Okay.
Which, you know, isn't bad. There were only 2 all-time closing highs, but for the first time we got over 48,000 on the Dow, which is a good sign. That happened on happened on December 12th. Happens to be the day that the government shutdown ended. So this is all, right?
It's all coming
Is
together.
it rigged?
It's all
Who knows?
coming together.
But year to date, the Dow is up 12%. And although nobody owns the Dow, right, it gives an indication of it's been a pretty good year.
It's been a pretty inflationary year.
It has, but nevertheless, the market itself is up, it's
it is
up above inflation.
It is a better up several percentage points than down several percentage points to anybody who's in an index fund or anything like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So December, what are we thinking about December?
It's the second best month of the year, and it's up about 73% of the time. And the last time an odd-numbered year was down, we're in an odd-numbered year right now.
Wait a minute, I gotta look this up.
Yeah.
I gotta look this
Pull
up.
out your calendar.
1, 2, 3. I gotta learn to count.
Five?
Once I get
Odd?
past my shoes and socks and get to 20,
You're lost.
I'm gone.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Only have to go up to 12.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Okay. So the last odd-numbered year that saw a market decline in December was in 2015. So it's really been a pretty good run, you know, for the market. And we're up against what's known as the Santa Claus
The
rally.
famous Santa Claus rally. We give a name to everything in this country.
Wall Street will give a name to anything. That's the last 5 trading days of the old year and the first 2 trading days of the new year. Market's up about 76% of the time. So I kind of think we're probably, and we're at an all-time high today, so it's probably clear sailing into the end of the year and the beginning of next year.
As people overeat and overdrink.
Correct.
Yeah.
And who would have thought?
New Year's Eve, that's
Right.
really a good thing for the market.
Correct.
Okay. So you're looking pretty happy, Guy.
I think things have, you know, I think if somebody said the beginning of the year, this is where we'd be at the end of the year, I don't think anybody predicted that, and I think they would have been very surprised. And people who stayed the course, and not as many did, but those who did, feeling pretty good.
How come you're not blaming Trump for all this wonderful news?
Well, I think it goes back to I really think it goes back to the people are discounting. They've heard so much of it. It's like, if you look at things in your personal life where you say, if you hear somebody saying certain stuff on there, pretty soon you start discounting. You say, don't listen to them. And I think that's happening.
Do you think erraticism might lead to good times in the stock market?
I think so.
So then you have to blame Trump.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. We got to thank him.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen,
We should
I
be
did not
thinking.
say this.
We should be thinking about a third
This
term.
is all Mike all the time.
We should be thinking about a third term. But again, we're talking just on the Dow, which doesn't really match up with life
Reality.
in general. Right.
Reality.
Well, I don't want to say that, but life in general.
Life in general, but
Right.
that is not.
No.
No.
No, it's a small segment of the public who's in it, and is even a smaller segment of the public who has stayed in it. I know, these financial firms love to say, the average return over the last whatever period, 5, 10, 15, 20 years is this. But they did a study. How many people actually stayed in it that time? Vast majority did not. They get out, and then they get in, and then, things look bad, I'm getting out. Oh, geez, Trump got reelected, I'm selling everything, I'll wait and see if things get better. Well, this year alone, they missed 12%. So that's the problem with, the long-term return. It's only good as if you've been in it for the long term. But the people who have been in it the long term are pretty happy. It's just not a large number of people.
Well, I think knowledge of exactly when to get out, only a true psychic would ever really know it.
Right.
And I've never met a really true psychic.
No.
So.
I mean, when is the time to get out? The easiest answer is never.
Well, you hear about all these, folk tales about somebody sold everything the day before.
Correct.
Did you ever hear of Jesse Livermore?
Yes.
He ended up putting a bullet through his brain, but he had these psychic instincts that just made him a fortune until it didn't.
Right.
So don't stop taking your drugs.
Correct. Correct.
All right, the technicals. Want to talk?
Yeah. Even though the market went up 153 points, which really is nothing, it's less than 0.5%, the technical indicators got better. 200-day moving average didn't move much, which is a good sign. Volatility didn't move much. That's a good sign. Stochastic oscillator fell tremendously. That's a good sign. And the fear and greed index fell tremendously, which is a contrarian indicator, and that's a good sign. So that's why I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's probably clear sailing through the end of December into beginning part of January.
Everything's beautiful,
I
is
think-
what you're saying.
I think things look good.
What did it say, what do you call it, the Grateful Dead song? When things are best, danger's at your door.
Yes.
So, okay, I'm not saying anything.
All right.
I'm quiet and shy as usual.
Yes.
Shrinking violet,
I hear ya.
everybody knows.
Yeah. What's behind that clipboard? No one knows. But no, I think, I think the reason I say that is based on the technical indicators.
Okay, then, yeah. Who knows the future? You can't predict.
You can't.
But it would have to, for things to go truly south, everything that happened, it would just have to be what do they call it, black swan
Correct.
to move
Correct.
that.
And these technical indicators, the world could end tomorrow, and as we were all fading out, somebody would say, yeah, but your technical indicators said everything was going to be good. That's all they are. They're just short-term indicators. They do not take into account anything away from the math.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I'm relatively in lifestyle, relatively conservative.
Mm-hmm.
But if I knew the world was ending tomorrow,
Right.
there ain't one drug I wouldn't try.
Right.
I would be down at Yankee Spirits buying top shelf
Right.
and having the best night of my life.
Right. 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 So yeah, I think it's. I
I'm
think
not
everything's-
doing that.
No. No. And again, with the government shutdown finally ending, there really isn't much big news. A lot of the economic reports, the agencies have said they're not even going to bother releasing. So we're going to be, a month or two before we can compare new information with previous short-term information. There's no sense looking at what happened in September. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's 3 months old. So it's going to be probably till the end of the first quarter, I think, before
We can be patient.
you're really going to know.
Okay. All right, now the major news. And we already kind of mentioned the Fed minutes cut rates in September, but said inflation remains a problem. Still concerned? Well, that's old news. Because you
Correct.
wrote that before what we heard today.
Right, and they cut rates again today, and said the same thing about the tariffs mainly. And then that slowdown in the labor market is their concern. And they meet again next in January 28th, and the early odds are that there'll be no rate cut. The first odds that came out based on the Fed funds futures yesterday were a 76% chance of no cut in January. So we might be,
Well, that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
What would it take to see, how desperate would they have to get?
to see a rate cut. You'd probably have to see jobless claims really drop. The next employment report, which will come out in the beginning part of January, to show a real slowdown. That would probably maybe change it to increase the odds of a rate cut.
Well, that's not going to happen because I saw where Trump is promising the great manufacturing boom. That's not happening.
Okay. Then,
Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. But I mean, inflation is still out there, really big,
it's still,
and a rate cut doesn't really help that.
no. And I think Powell even said it, that, cutting rates by a quarter of a point is not going to change, anything. The rate of increase has really dropped, but it's still going up much more than they'd like to see it. They speak about this 2%. It's closer to 3%. And so that's, pretty high.
All right. Well, for some Toronto, the Dodgers won the series.
Right.
We're getting to really serious science
That's
here.
true. And I don't know if they won it in November or it was late night on Halloween. So I am not so sure. That may not be
Oh, that might
November
change
news, but
everything.
we threw it in there anyways.
Okay.
And history shows that when Dodgers win a World Series and the Blue Jays lose a World Series, the following year the Dow's up 7%.
Well, how many times together have they done that?
They've never done it together.
Okay. But the Blue Jays have lost the World
Have
Series.
lost World Series and the Dodgers have won
won,
World Series.
okay.
When that happens, it's been pretty good the following year. And if history repeats itself, the Dow would be over 51,000 sometime next year. So you heard it here first.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, blame him if something goes wrong.
And we keep mentioning the government shutdown ended. It's kind
What?
of, yeah, it did. Too bad, because it was the longest in history. And the Dow rose almost 1,900 points when the government was shut down, over 4%. So everybody who, again, and this is what, some people will think. They'll say, oh, government shutdown, this is really bad. History shows government shutdowns are positive for the stock market. This is another example.
Well, you could get a book out of this, the positive effects. I mean, you don't have to limit it to the Dow.
Could do it
The
on
positive,
anything.
what's good for this country
Yeah.
is a government shutdown.
It's funny, you ask people these questions, right? And and not that, financial people are any smarter than anyone else, but you ask these people these questions, most of them get them all wrong. What's been the effect of a government shutdown on the stock market? Most people say, it would be bad.
Yeah.
Nope. It was up 1,900 points.
So we're a little upset that we're back in business.
Well,
Okay.
it'll happen again.
Interest rates, cuts from Israel, well, they're in a war. I guess you can't say that wouldn't happen.
No?
No change for the Bank of England. Well, they're
Correct.
meaningless anyway now.
Yep. And that was it.
Yeah.
Beyond our own Fed. Oil is now still under $60 a barrel.
Yeah, it's been under 60 for a while. When am I going to see that at the pump?
I hear you.
Production is up,
All-time high.
all-time high. Less drilling rigs. Boy, those drilling rigs can really ramp it up when they need to.
Yeah.
And we did have a little discussion of inflation earlier.
Only one report came out, and that was the Producer Price Index, and it
0.3%.
0.3%. But again, it was for September. It was a delayed report, so it doesn't really mean much. But it does confirm that inflation's still rather high.
Rather high.
And the government agency said that they will not release the October numbers, which probably tells you they were bad.
Yeah.
Right. Leading economic indicators, they still haven't come back to
Nope.
being
Yep.
reported.
Here, see no evil, hear no evil.
Yep. Yep. And then the employment report came out for September, and well, why would that one come out and others not? Well, because that one showed good results, right?
119, up 119.
Yep, 119,000. Temp jobs fell for the 5th month in a row, which is a good sign. The labor force grew by almost 500,000, which is another good sign because it had been declining for 3 months in a row. And unemployment kind of stayed about where it was, around 4.4%.
Let's see. Wage increase. Well, in inflation, you have it as 0.2%, I guess, 3.8 over the past. Well, you'd hope wages would increase in an
Right.
inflationary.
Right.
Not always does it happen.
No.
It usually lags.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
U6, that's underemployed?
Yeah.
That's temporary jobs?
Well, the U6 is the underemployed and the discouraged.
Discouraged.
So those are the people who have stopped looking for work. Those are the people who are working part-time but really want full-time work. A lot of, the mainstream news media talks about the unemployment rate, but the real one you want to look at is the U6, and it's called U6 because that's the form that it gets reported on, the government, right?
Yeah. It's like the British band, UB40. That's the unemployment. That's a band, a musical band, but it's the unemployment, I believe, form in Britain.
Okay.
So it ties together.
Ties together, right? And so that shows really where real unemployment is, and it's like over 8%.
That is not good.
Yep.
So unemployment, what did you say?
8.2 for the U6
Boy.
number. It had been over 10. So it's
Thank
it's gotten a
God.
little better, but
Yeah.
but that shows that there's no one indicator that gives the complete picture, right? There's a lot of these that you have to.
Well, what
you
was
wanna
the
look
one
at.
we kept touting about
Leading economic indicators?
indicators that were negative for a year and nobody would say recession?
Right.
So, I mean, we haven't got them back yet.
It hasn't been released
What
in
was
like
the
2 or
last
3
one?
months, but it was negative.
It was negative.
Yeah.
So happy days are here again.
Well, but for all those people who thought 2025 would be bad, how many times we heard people talk about recession, recession, recession. I'm getting out, right? They could have been right, but they were wrong, and they were wrong by quite a bit. I mean,
Well, what makes up a recession?
decreasing growth.
Did we have real growth in the last year? Real growth?
No, not if you take
That's the
not if you take inflation out of it.
That's actually not recessional. That's depressing.
Yeah.
So, any thoughts about the coming year?
A lot of in the last couple of weeks or so, I'm hearing a lot of people say they're worried. This can't go on forever. My gut feeling, whatever that's worth, probably going to be another good year next year.
To digress and kind of disagree. I heard a guy talking about the gambling websites, and they're not just on sports.
Right.
You can gamble
on anything now.
If my hair's going to grow, I can
Correct.
gamble on that.
Yep.
And the person who's talking, he says basically people who do that. And I didn't get an exact percentage of people participating in that. He said, if people are doing that wholesale, their timelines are way off. Everything is short term. And that ain't good for a country.
Right.
So how are you going to turn this around, Mike? We're counting on you, Mike.
Oh, we're out of time, so we'll have to wait till next month to get that.
I knew you'd say. Ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't completely offended, please like and subscribe. This is Richard Morco and Mike Carnevale, the Long Hill Report, conversations with, and we hope to see you next month. If inflation hasn't gone through, well, if it has gone through the roof.
Yeah, well, we just hope to see you next month.
Yeah,
You know.
Well, actually, we can't see you because we haven't got.
Do we know how many are seeing us?
If you raise your hands out there.
One, 1.5, one, still one.
Thank you, sir, for waving like that. That's really good. All right, ladies and gentlemen, see you next month, or not.